Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. The goal today is to get most of, possibly even all of these new plants from Carol in the ground. Now this is a planning video, this is the ideas, and you might sort of think, why are you bothering telling us what you're going to do? Why don't you just get on and do it? I'll tell you why. Because some of my viewers have come up with some absolutely brilliant ideas in the past that I hadn't even thought of. And as a consequence of that, by doing a planning video, some of those ideas might come forward before I've actually done the work. Maybe. Anyway, we're rearranging the garden before we start. First of all, that is my tallest staging. The reason it's been there for the summer is to get these trees out of full sun. That's the reason it's there. Also during the summer, the bird feeder wasn't active. That had been shut down, so it didn't matter. That is the tallest staging I've got. At the moment, it's in the way. I can't get at quite a large area here because of that. So first job is that's going to move. It's the tallest staging, therefore from the view from the house it needs to be the farthest away. We don't get so much sun now. I'm not worried about sun for the rest of this year and well into next year. It's irrelevant because there's so little of it. So that staging is going up here. And it's going long ways. To do that, this staging's got to move. That's going to go long ways in front of it. So a fair bit of that gravel bed is currently going to get taken up by those two lots of staging. Now the tubs with plants in, the plant round here, which was the borage, whoops. I've got to watch these flipping spiders, they're everywhere. They get across all the pathways. The borage died, so that tub's irrelevant, that's got nothing in it. We've got our plants that we've already started on the gravel, so that corner's already got some in, so the staging's got to come this side of it and the other side of that. So it'll just go in the middle there, along that bit there. This will then go in front of it. And then we've got this staging here. Now part of my planning is to introduce some growing areas into the gravel beds by digging out some gravel and putting some reasonable soil in the trench and then putting some plants in and putting the gravel back on top, so it still looks like a gravel bed but there's some planting areas. One of those areas is going to be along here. And the reason I want a planting area along there is it is quite shaded. It gets some sun, but it doesn't get all day sun. So we can have some primroses along here. Yeah? So we can get some plants going along this edging. This ivy will be kept cut back now, so that's irrelevant. That's not going to take over this area. So I've got to dig a trench along here and get a planting area established before we even start. So that's got to move, that's got to move, the tubs have got to move. This staging to allow me to work here needs to come across, which means moving the bricks. That tub will have to move. So you can see I've got an awful lot to do before I even think about planting. Yeah? And then over here, you see I've already got a planting area along here. We've got primroses, we've got violets, we've got some strange little ferns in there somewhere if they're still alive. And one of the gravel bed ground cover plants has been put there on the end. So that's the idea, is to do a similar thing this side as well. That couldn't be done before, it was covered in ivy. The ivy came out to here. Yeah? So having cut all that back, I've released an area and now we can make good use of it. And then the other planting area is sort of along here. But unfortunately, there's quite a few plants in there already. So geranium, that's a campanula. There's bluebells in this corner that hopefully will come up next year, along with the primroses and things. And over this side, if I can get round there, again, we've already got some plants there. Yeah, we've already got some geraniums along there. So we might not be able to put so much in there as I thought. Yeah, but nonetheless, we'll find some areas, this one being the main one. And then the other plants that are destined for the actual gravel beds will go in places where they will be in the sun next year and are not necessarily in the way of anything. So these two lots of staging means I can't plant anything in that area, but I can plant in front of them, and that will get the sun next year. We've got all of that corner, that sort of V-shaped one here. We've got that gets the sun. We've got all of this here. This table can go because this bonsai tree, that's one that will like some sun but not quite so much as the rest. That will now go on the staging. That's going to lose its leaves soon. Yeah. So that table can go away, so that area can be planted up. And yeah, also a lot of the plants, I've just had an update from Carol, and the phlox and the Michaelmas daisies grow taller than what they are now, and the phlox needs to go behind stuff so that the flowers come up over the top, because the plants themselves apparently aren't that attractive. And Carol said they'd look good, like say behind your foxgloves or something like that. So somehow or other the Michaelmas daisies and the phlox are going at the back of this border somewhere, and that comes back to the fact I need to be able to get in there. Prior to working on this border, I'm going to hack these two bushes, and they're going to be turned into what I call lollipops. In other words, all the lower branches are coming off, leaving a shrub at the top to hide some of the fence. Yeah, same with this one, quite low growing. I'm also going to cut the rows right back to next to nothing. It'll grow again next year, but while I'm in here planting and everything, I don't want to get ripped to shreds. So we're going to have a large pile of stuff to clear up. My worst nightmare is clearing up stuff from the ground. And in addition to that, these have got to go somewhere. Yeah? Now, these two that like part shade will become part of the new gravel bed that I've just talked about, and these will just get dotted around somewhere. Yeah, this is thyme. Well, I've already got some larger thyme to plant out, so these are edging plants. These don't grow tall. So that's those to do. And some of the plants that came yesterday are destined to go along this front edge to stop it doing this, basically. So that's the plan. And prior to doing any of that, I've got staging to clear off, staging to move. That is heavy. To be able to lift that up and take it to where it goes in one foul swoop, I need everything out the way. Yeah, so I've got stuff to move before I even think about lifting that up. So that's the plan, and that's not a one-day plan, because there's no way I'm not going to get all that done in one day. After moving all the staging around and the lifting and everything like that, because everything's got to come off the staging to be able to move it, then it's got to be put back on, and etc. That's going to leave me quite tired. That will need a break before we even start planting. So as you can see, there's an awful lot to do. In addition to this video, there is another unboxing video for you to look at, but it's I won't call it significant because there's only a couple of plants in the box anyway. They'll probably be in the ground before you see the unboxing video. I will try and film some of the planting, but we haven't got to that stage yet. We're not at the planting stage. I'm still planning and moving heavy stuff around to be able to get at some of the planting areas. So there's a fair bit to do. If you look down here, that bush has come right out here. You see the difference in the colour? All of that is new growth, and all of that is about to come off because I need the light to get into that corner. Yeah, so we'll have to see what we can do. I'm just looking, there's a whole row of plants gone missing. See if I can get in there and see what's happened. Well, maybe not gone missing. Along the back there was a row of foxgloves. Well, I won't say a row, there were some foxgloves, and I can't... Oh, I can see them, they've died back. So we may have lost those, and that could be lack of light. Because the ones here are okay, those are okay. These are all okay. Yeah? These long sticks, those are this year's blooms, those need cutting back now to give the plants a chance to grow. Yeah, so that's now a dark, dingy corner, and it needs lightening up. And to lighten it up, these shrubs need taking right back in. While I'm at it, I'll try and take the tops off. So as you can see, there's a lot of preparation to do before we even start getting stuff ready to go. So, talking about it's not going to get it done, is it? I'm trying to do some washing as well. I got some new bedding. I don't like putting new stuff on straight away, and that includes bedding, so I'm giving that a rinse through. I've got to get that round on the areas and things to start getting that dry. So I've got a lot to do. It's going to be a busy couple of days, and then I'm away this weekend. I've got the Orchid Society show on Saturday and the bonsai show on Sunday, so I'm not going to be doing anything at the weekend. So I've got to try and cram as much as I can into these next 2 days, today and tomorrow. And I can't do it all at once, or I'm not going to enjoy my weekend because I shall be aching and groaning and creaking. So that's the idea, that's the plan. And we'll see how much of it we can get done. Quite looking forward to getting some more plants in this area and getting some of what's in there out of the way, so that I can see a bit more of what I'm doing, if you know what I mean. We'll see how we go. And I think there's one plant that's going to get moved. This geranium here, it's too close to the front, quite honestly. So I think I might take that out and move it back. It could go into there or something like that. Or here. But it needs to move. It's not very good where it is. This is often the way when you plant an area up, you know. You're not quite sure of how big things are going to get, and then, you know, some of the bigger stuff's just too far forward and it needs picking up and moving back. So we'll see what we can do with that. And got a plant here that has appeared out of nowhere, and I don't know what that is. I've got a feeling that might be that false nettle that has the blue flowers, in which case it comes up here somewhere, and it needs coming out anyway, because I don't know what it is. And if it is false nettle, it seeds all over the place and takes over. See, I mean, look, there's a planting area there, but it's no good at the moment because the bottom of this bush is there. So, work to be done. There you go then. And again, Carol, thanks for the update about the taller plants and that. This corner's going to be a bit difficult because I need to be able to keep it light, which means this whole area's got to be kept cut back. So, better make a start, I suppose. Well, we don't make a start till we've had a coffee and just a reflection and get this video posted. So, that's the plan.